Hi, my name is Catherine Gloston, and this is my instructional design project for ELRC 7503. The title of my project is Connection of Math and Science, Solar System, and Scientific Notation. So I'll be doing the following. I'll be giving a brief description of my project, which is my overview. My learning objectives, I have six. My learning assessments, I do have six assessments. It's a combination of summative and formative assessments. I'll discuss my learning material, which mainly are interactive presentations with keynotes, and then finally summing it up with my learning strategies, which basically surround experiential debate and presentation learning. So to kick it off, I always like to try to start with a quote, and this one definitely came to play in this course. I am still learning by Michelangelo at the age of 87. So just to give an overview first of what my project entails, I use the Louisiana Student Content Standards, which can be found on Louisiana Believes. One is 8EEA3. I won't read it in detail, but basically it deals with integer powers, exponents. Likewise, 8EEA4 also deals with expressing numbers in scientific notation. So the basic purpose of my project is to connect math and science with the assistance of scientific notation and the solar system. Students, they'll be able to write in scientific notation, whether it's very large numbers or very small numbers. They're going to also do some research. This is geared toward my eighth graders, but some of these skills are actually learned starting at grade 5 all the way up until the seventh grade. And majority of my lessons have been expanded to entail around about 55 minutes. So they do involve higher order of thinking as each lesson progresses, as each objective moves on to the next one. So now talking about my learning objectives. As I stated earlier, I have six. So the very first one is remember, and in that the remember stage, the students, they're going to be able to identify the rules of scientific notation, then understand. They'll be able to indicate the mass of planets not written in scientific notation. They'll be able to apply what they learn by being able to convert masses of four planets into scientific notation. They'll be able to analyze information by researching and locating volume and surface areas of different planets in scientific notation. Then they'll go into this evaluate stage where they're going to argue and debate about scientific notation. And then finally, they're going to create these visual presentations where they're going to create their own planets and use all that information that they've been gathering from the beginning till now to give us a visual presentation of scientific notation. So then I'm moving on to my learning assessments. What happens here after each objective, each student will be measured in some type of way, whether formal or informal. This at the remember stage, the students will have an exit ticket wherein they will provide they'll do like what we call a drag and drop. Uh, and in this area, they're going to be selecting which number is actually written in correct scientific notation. And then from there, they're going to drag each one of these boxes, either the blue, green, or yellow, to indicate the actual rule that corresponds to show that they've selected the correct number. There is a rubric attached, so they know if they get like all three boxes correct, it's an A. They know 2 is a B, 3 is a C. I mean, 1 is a C. And then if they don't have anything correct, it's a lower unsatisfactory grade. So that's the very first exit ticket in the remember stage. As they enter into the understand, now they actually understand a little bit more about scientific notation. So they're able to actually select those numbers that are not written in scientific notation. So in the second exit ticket, they're going to select planets that are not written in scientific notation by placing a pink sticky note on the board of the planet that's not written in scientific notation. So this is an interactive exit ticket wherein it's really simple. You just press the sticky note button, select pink, place it on the Jamboard that of the planet that's not written in scientific notation. Then they're on to the apply stage, and at that stage, now they're converting, and they're going to basically convert the planets that are not written in scientific notation. They're going to be able to convert it. Fourth, they're going to do their research. They'll have an actual rubric provided, and I'll talk some more as far as how I actually get them to be able to follow along with this rubric, as well as know how to actually complete research correctly, which they should already know. However, I don't want to assume. Then they have the great debate, which 9 times out of 10, yes, they should have actually been debating. But again, some students may not. And therefore, they have a rubric that they'll follow along. And then they'll also have a video that'll be provided. Then finally, the actual visual project. And here is the rubric which they will follow, but I will definitely review with them prior to them being let out just to follow this rubric. Now I'm talking about those nice learning materials. So this is actually the area I think I struggled with, because I got learning materials confused with actual activities. So I actually had to go back and curtail this. So I wanted to show actually my learning materials. Some of the things that I like to use is quizzes, Google Slides, Nearpod, YouTube. And so that's actually what I incorporated inside my learning materials. So at the very first stage, they are actually brought into a quizzes activity. So in the quizzes activity, what happens is they actually go through this quizzes activity, and this will be a live presentation. And so they'll go through this activity, and they'll actually, the teacher will, I will dictate throughout and discuss. However, they'll be able to interact. They'll be able to actually log in, and they'll be able to watch the video along with me. And there are going to be certain questions that they're actually going to have to answer. And then they will get immediate feedback that they're actually doing well. So it's not just any type of lesson, it's also interactive. So then they can actually chime in and put in answers as I go through. Then the next thing that they have on their list is a Google Slides presentation. And in the Google Slides presentation, they'll first start off by reviewing the exit ticket from the day prior, and they'll notice, if they actually got their answer correct. And we'll start off with a brief discussion of that. Then after that, they'll have a video that they're watching. They'll be able to practice again. And then they'll go through some more. And in this material, it's provided because it actually gives them a little bit more notes, wherein I'm able to talk a little bit more, but they're also actually able, now they're getting to the point where they're actually writing. So in the quizzes activity, they were typing in their answers or selecting. Now they're getting to the point where they're actually using this and they're actually writing inside their notebooks. So this presentation is just displayed on the board. They actually aren't physically, as far as with quizzes, they interact. But in this, they'll actually see it on the board and they're actually writing inside their notebooks. So that's the second learning material. And then the third material is actually the Nearpod. And I love Nearpod. It is very great. It's truly, truly interactive. And so here they are, again, teacher is still lecturing throughout this activity. She's talking. She is giving them all the key details, things that they need to write down, notes that they need to take, but they're also being able to actually interact with the teacher and do these assignments as well. So they're able to, still progress forward and work with the teacher. Nearpod works really well because the teacher actually dictates what shows on their screen. So that is the third material. And the fourth assignment, they actually start off with a YouTube video. So they actually watch a Powtoon, and it talks about online research, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And then after they watch that video, they're able to use the graphic organizer to help them make sure that they have listed all of the planets. And it does include another copy. It includes the research rubric. So they're able to follow along and know how they'll be graded. Then in objective 5, now we're on our debate. So here they are actually watching another Powtoon before the lesson, and they are learning about debate, what is debate, how to properly debate, and then thereafter they actually are able to take notes on what's going on inside the debate, what another student said, and they can use that in their opening statement. If they decide they want to change it up, they can also use something inside their rebuttal or in their closing statement. And then they have their rubric attached to it. So that concludes the actual learning materials. Then finally is the learning strategies that I use, and most of those are experiential. I do talk about the debate and the actual presentation, but the reason why I chose the experiential is basically because they're learning by doing. So in objectives 1 through 6, the students they are given a model, and they have a model that's done by the teacher. They have a video, all kinds of things, and then they're actually doing the work. So they're putting in that effort and they're doing. In the debate stage is just plain outright, if they're debating, I mean, that's just the debate learning. And then presentation, they are presenting to their fellow classmates, so they are doing the presentation, and then they're also teaching by providing more information to their fellow classmates by doing a presentation. So those are the strategies that I thought. Reflection. For me, as far as takeaways and personal growth, this course really has opened up a lot of thinking on my part on how to explain myself in depth, and how to utilize more materials, and actually why I'm utilizing those materials and how that helps my students. So I definitely learned a lot, and I actually appreciate this course and all of my fellow classmates, because they have introduced me to material that I did not know was out there. And again, I am still learning, and I appreciate all of those things. So majority of the things that I take away from this is instructional strategies. I definitely didn't realize that I had a certain strategy. I just kind of concentrated on the I do, we do, you do situation. But I really and like being able to learn about problem-based learning and project-based learning. Those really, really opened up my eyes to some different type of strategies that I could actually start implementing in my class. And then also the engagement and the material inside the lesson, it definitely brought out more that I feel like I can put out for my students to use and hopefully help them grow. So thank you all for listening. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I truly appreciate it. I'm wishing you all the best in your future endeavors, and happy holidays.